something us over there on Planet Brad.
Wow. I am like, holy smokes, Dr. Laura. I'm just still kind of recomposing myself and thought I had a little time, but here I go. We're sitting at the breakfast table. I just knocked my orange juice over. I'm cleaning it up, but let me just throw this in real quick because we got a lot of great people on stage. So I basically say to myself all the time, I hear myself saying this all the time, I'm an education sponge. And Gary Keller actually put the words in my mouth at a recent event last year. And he said, I really just observe life all the time. So I am, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what it is. I'm an observer of life. And for me, being an education sponge, I go to conferences. I'm like a conference junkie. And it doesn't matter what the training class is, doesn't matter what it is. I will get, if I get one little thing. I remember a technology conference I went to, or like a session class or something I went to, and I'm sitting in there going, boy, I could literally jump up here and teach this class. And then he said one thing. He goes, if you hit F11, all the head bars in your browser window go away. And I'm like, what? And I hit F11 and it's just this pretty picture of whatever page I'm looking at. Now, why you need that, I don't know, but I did. And I was like, so I could grab a screenshot of a website. I gained that little bit of extra space at the top. And I'm like, that was the best conference I've been to all year. F11, F11. So I'm kind of like that where I just capture and grab things. So one of the things that I did create, and I got this idea from a conference, it was a 3-day conference. Top agents, and this is in real estate, it was the top agents in the world go to this 3-day conference. And I'm just writing notes after notes after notes. So if you're anything like this, pay attention. You get your notes, and however you highlight everything, like, I mean, Glenn talking about the train, that right there would have an absolute star on it, right? Neil, oh my gosh, your dad, are you kidding me? I'm like so blown away. It's like, how could you even, the thought of missing a day in here is scary. I would have that circle going, Neil's dad created that. And those would be all things that I would have circled and highlighted and starred in my notes. So one of the things I came up with, and well, I didn't come up with it, I was given this idea and then I put it into action because I'd never seen anybody do it before. I created 2 sheets. One is my top ideas from my notes. And I basically have 5 things. It says, what's the idea? What is, oh wait, that's my implement. Yeah. What's the idea? When would I like to implement this by? What is the estimated cost to do this idea? And what would be the time frame to implement it? So what I would do if it was a 3-day conference, I would print out 3 sheets of this page that have these 5 slots. They all say the same thing. And those are the things I'm going to go through my notes at the end of the day and grab 5 of my 50 ideas, right? Day 2 rolls around, 5 of my 50 ideas. That's how I recap the day. And then I would do it again the 3rd day. Now, at the end of the conference on the way home, I have a second sheet, and I only have one of those. And it's my implementation worksheet, my top 3 ideas from those 3 pages of 5 ideas. So I have 15 ideas that made it out of my notes, out of my starred circled stuff. Now I got to pick 3. And what my top 3 sheet says is, what was the session in the day so I could find it in my notes? What's the number 1 action item that I'm going to do? So I'll pull the best idea out of those 15 and put it at the top. When do I want to implement it by? And what are the actions and people to make this happen? And what are the consequences if I don't get it done by this implementation date? And I have that on the sheet 3 times. Now, let me tell you what really happened here is I did start changing and innovating and adding things into my business. In fact, the very first time I did this, the very first idea was to buy a moving truck that had my stuff plastered all over it driving around town, right? And we get our clients moving, and I would let my clients use the moving truck for free. And it was a great convenience. Only my wife said, if you go to another conference and buy a $40,000 moving truck, every time you go, you can't go anymore. So, but that was a great one. What ended up happening was I started finding out in these 15 ideas from a 3-day conference that there's stuff that doesn't cost money that makes me more efficient, that gives me time back, that makes something, raise the bar on service. and it didn't always cost money. And some of those things started making it to the top of the list. So it's just a way to sort through and really be innovative and moving forward. So that's I mean, I guess that's a pretty heavy share. Now I'm kind of thinking back about how that all just rolled out. So hopefully you were hanging with it.
Totally. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you guys were taking notes. I hope that everybody hears the absolute passion of him loving to learn, because I think that's one of the most effortless ways to connect with innovation. So a lot of love and a lot of light. I'm passing the mic quickly over to Morris.